Searching by classification codes. Classification codes are either numeric or alphanumeric. If you have come across patent documents, you might have noticed this in the front page of the patent document. The classification codes are International Patent Classification, IPC, Cooperative Patent Classification, CPC, and United States Classifications, which is US. So this is a patent document wherein you see an alphanumeric code placed under international classification and a numeric code which is placed under the United States classification. And these patents are categorized and placed in a bin based on the field of invention, and these bins are nothing but the classification codes. If you are looking for a cricket bat, these cricket bats are usually listed under this international classification codes or this United States classification codes. In other words, if you are searching for cricket bats, you can directly get to these international classification codes and search for cricket bats. This is the website for International Patent Classification Codes. So you can get to this website by typing in IPC Classification Codes, and by clicking you'll get to this home page. Let us say like you're not completely aware about the classification codes for a particular field, so you would manually go through, click any of this and find out the classification codes. For example, if you're searching for cricket bat, most likely they'll be placed under mechanical engineering, or they'll be placed under performing operations. So you click there and go through series of sub-classification codes by clicking different subcategories to get to the place where cricket bats are stored. Alternatively, you can click in the keywords here to find out the relevant classification codes. For example, if I type in cricket bat and search here, these are the places where cricket bats are placed. And scrolling to A63B10220, you see that cricket is placed under this classification code. So this is a way to get to the relevant classification codes that you're searching for. Let us get back to the toothbrush disclosure. So if you are searching for an international patent classification code for a toothbrush reservoir, by getting into the IPC classification code website and by typing in the toothbrush reservoir in the search term bar, it would list out the relevant IPC classification code. So A46B11/00 says that these are brushes with reservoir or other means for applying substances, and more specifically A46B11/02 are brushes with reservoir with substances discharged from reservoir by pressure. In fact, this is more appropriate for the toothbrush disclosure. With the relevant classification code, we can see how to search for a particular invention. So how to combine text and classification codes. With the appropriate classification code, we can combine this classification code and text to arrive at the relevant prior arts. Previously, I've shown you how to get the appropriate IPC classification codes for a toothbrush with a reservoir. A46B11/02. With that, we have already reached only 31 results. So 31 results are easy to manage. You can manually click through each of these references to find out the relevant classification code. But the point to be noted here is, whenever you're searching for an IPC classification code, pay attention to the text associated with the classification code. So here the title of the classification code says that these are brushes with reservoir with substance discharged from reservoir by pressure. Pretty much it has covered part of the inventive features of the disclosure. The part that has not covered is the head region of the toothbrush, head or the lid region of the toothbrush. We can always match that by keying in the missing keywords. So the way to combine the text and the classification codes is find out the relevant classification codes and read the text associated with the relevant classification codes, and see if it is part of the disclosure, and match those classification codes with the missing key features by adding the relevant text associated with the missing key features. So as I mentioned before, the missing keywords are head or lid, near the open or close, and also the rubber or elastomer region. So by mixing these text along with the classification code, you get to 5 results. So this is a way to combine text and classification codes. And you might ask me, like, what is the point in combining text and classification codes? Yes, you can either run a text search alone or a classification codes alone, and pretty much some of the best references are when you combine text and classification codes. So it is highly recommended that you combine text and classification codes to arrive at references that you might have missed by just running a text or a classification codes search separately.